Boss fired me, wife cheated, my revenge was fire. My boss fired me to save a buck, then begged me to save his empire. I'd built his client list with my own hands. That was the moment I stopped playing his game. If this story moved, you don't forget to drop a comment and subscribe to Viora for more unforgettable stories that speak to the heart. I'm Jason Kessler, 49, a client relations manager in Raleigh, North Carolina. 2 decades at Pinnacle Solutions, a mid-tier consulting firm, turned me into the guy who closed deals others couldn't touch. 3 offices, 50 employees, a reputation I forged through late nights and handshake promises. Not rich but solid, $200,000 a year. A Craftsman house, a Dodge Ram, and a life with my wife Shelby, 38. She's a paralegal sharp with a laugh that cuts through any storm. 10 years married, no kids, but we had a rhythm. Her at the law firm, me keeping Pinnacle's clients loyal. I thought I was untouchable. Then Ethan Caldwell, 46, the new CEO, walked in and burned my world down. It started subtle. Ethan, a tech bro transplant from Silicon Valley, strutted into Pinnacle with buzzwords and a corner office. He called me old school in meetings, smirking. I'd built our client base, 10 million in contracts through trust, not apps. But Ethan wanted disruption, cheaper hires, younger faces. I caught him eyeing my office, my accounts. Then Shelby started acting off late nights at the firm. Phone buzzing, screen flipped down, case prep, she'd say, eyes darting. I found a $600 receipt for a dinner at a Raleigh steakhouse we'd never been to. Client meeting. She shrugged. My gut twisted. But work was my anchor, so I pushed it down. Doubt's a slow poison. By spring, Ethan's restructuring hit. He called me in, tie loose grin. Smug Jason, you're out. We need fresh talent. Cheaper 15 years, and he canned me like I was nothing. You're a landline in a smartphone world. He sneered. I signed the severance, walked out, his laugh trailing me. My crew guys I'd mentored stared stunned. I kept my head high, but inside I was breaking. Home wasn't a refuge. Shelby was distant, her kisses cold. One night her laptop was open. I wasn't snooping, just closing it. An email popped up. From Joey Crenshaw, 47. Pinnacle's top client, a real estate mogul I'd wined and dined for years. Last night was worth it. Ethan's plans in motion. My chest caved. I scrolled messages, dozens. You're my spark. Joey wrote a photo of Shelby, an address I didn't know, his arm around her, a $3,000 hotel bill. 10 years and she'd betrayed me with my biggest client. I shut the laptop. Hands shaking, Shelby slept upstairs, her hair spilling over the pillow. I wanted to storm and demand answers, but I didn't. I called my buddy Ray Thornton, 51, a corporate lawyer who'd seen every kind of double cross. We met at a diner, coffee steaming. Jason, you sure? Ray asked. Brow furrowed. Shelby's cheating with Joey. Ethan's in on something. I need the truth. Ray scribbled a name. Lydia Pierce, P.I. She's a hawk, costs. But she delivers. I pocketed it, resolve like steel. Lydia was a dynamo, mid-40s, with a no-nonsense glare. We met in her office, papers everywhere. What do you want, Kessler? She asked. Everything. Shelby's lies, Joey's game, Ethan's play. She nodded. 2 weeks. Keep it normal, like I could with my life crumbling. I played the part. Kissed Shelby goodbye. Cleared my office at Pinnacle, smiled when Ethan bragged about new blood. But every moment was a lie. Lydia worked fast. Her first report hit my inbox, photos of Shelby and Joey at a Raleigh rooftop bar, her lips on his. Bank records showing $15,000 drained from our joint account moved to a new one in her name. Emails between Ethan and Joey planning to poach my clients for a new venture. The worst, Joey wasn't just Shelby's lover, he was Ethan's partner, using my trust to gut Pinnacle's revenue. My work, my marriage, my life stolen. I sat in my truck, rain hammering the roof, reading Lydia's file. This wasn't just a revenge story. It was a calculated heist. I could have confronted. Shelby, blown it up. But I'm smarter than that. I called Ray. Set up a meeting with Pinnacle's board. I said, I've got something they need to see. Ray hesitated. This is big, Jason. Ready? I gripped the phone. They buried me. I'm digging out. The board meeting was days away. I didn't tell Shelby I'd be there. She thought I was job hunting. I stood outside Pinnacle's glass tower, watching Ethan schmooze clients I'd brought in. My heart burned for the man I'd been. Then Lydia called. Got more, she said. Audio: Ethan and Joey at a client lunch. They're planning to tank Pinnacle, start their own firm. I listened in my garage, tools silent. Ethan's voice smug. Jason's clients are ours, Shelby's the key. My blood boiled. I sent it to Ray. This goes to the board, I said. And the clients? The next twist hit hard. Lydia traced the new account to a shell company linked to a Pinnacle board member, Randall Holt, 62. Ethan had promised him a cut of the new venture if Joey secured my clients. My wife wasn't just cheating, she was a pawn in a corporate coup. I met Lydia at a coffee shop, dawn breaking. What's next? I asked. She sipped her latte, eyes sharp. Confront her now, it's chaos. Or play their game smarter. I leaned back, mind racing. Shelby thought I'd stay quiet. Ethan thought he'd won. Randall thought he owned the board. They were wrong. Let's end them. I said, voice low. Ray filed a whistleblower report with the board attaching Lydia's evidence. I hired a forensic accountant, Claire Donovan, 44, to dig into our finances. $180,000 gone over 10 years, savings, bonuses, household expenses. My life's work siphoned for Shelby's lies. Claire's report was a weapon. You've got her, she said, handing it over. They're done. But they weren't. Shelby came home. Eyes red. Jason, we need to talk, she said, voice shaky. I let her in, wary. She sat twisting her ring. I messed up Joey's. Not what I thought. I'm scared. My heart tugged, old habits dying hard. Then her phone buzzed. Joey's name. A text. Stick to the plan. She was playing me again. Get out, I said, voice cold. She blinked. Shocked. Jason. Please out. She fled. Purse clutched tight. I exhaled, the air heavy. No more lies, I called Ray. Send everything to the board. Now the next day I walked into the board's office. Claire's report in hand. The chair, Dr. Ellen Harper, 58, skimmed it, jaw tight. This is serious, she said. Serious, I said, leaning in. It's fraud, betrayal. Tell Ethan his empire's at stake. Harper nodded, rattled. I walked out, sunlight hitting my face. I was in control. Then my phone rang. Unknown number, a man's voice, rough. Back off, Kessler. You're playing with fire. Click. My pulse raced. Ethan. Had to be. I locked the house, checked the cameras. Nothing, but the threat lingered. This wasn't just about Shelby anymore. Ethan, Joey, and Randall were coming for me, and I was ready to fight. Ethan's threat echoed like a distant explosion. You're playing with fire, he'd snarled. Sleep was a lost cause. My Raleigh house, once a sanctuary, felt like a cage. Every car passing, every rustle outside set my nerves ablaze. But I wasn't folding. I'm Jason Kessler, and I'd built Pinnacle's client empire with my own grit. No way was I letting Ethan Caldwell, Joey Crenshaw, or Randall Holt burn it down. Morning hit humid and gray. I called Lydia. My PI voice tight. Ethan threatened me. Track his moves. Lydia didn't flinch. He's scared, Jason. We're close. I'll dig into his circle. Next I rang Claire, the forensic accountant. Any more on the money, I asked. She was all business. Shelby's careless. Another $20,000 moved yesterday. Offshore account, Belize. I'm chasing the owner. My jaw clenched. Offshore. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a heist. I drove to my old Pinnacle office now. A ghost town for me. The parking lot hummed with my former crew guys. I'd mentored their nods, heavy with respect. But I wasn't there to reminisce. I needed to think. Shelby, Ethan, Joey. They weren't just stealing my clients. They were dismantling my legacy, the trust I'd forged over decades. 10 years of late-night calls, skipped anniversaries, and a bad knee gone. I wasn't letting that happen. Midday. Ray called Dr. Harper. Spooked, he said. Your report's got the board scrambling. They want to meet tomorrow. You in? I gripped the phone. And I'm ready to torch this. But Ray's tone shifted. Jason, heads up, Harper mentioned Randall Holt. He's got donors tied to Pinnacle. You know him. My stomach twisted. Randall, the board member with a tycoon swagger, always too close to Ethan at Gallus. Yeah, I said low. I know him. That afternoon, Lydia sent a new file. Photos of Shelby and Joey at a Raleigh cigar lounge, her hand on his arm. Randall was there, sipping bourbon. Eyes sharp. My blood boiled. Joey was the affair, but Randall was the puppet master. If he was bankrolling this, it was bigger than a revenge story. But why me? My client list was gold. Not a Fortune 500 empire. What did Randall want? No time to guess. My phone buzzed. Text, unknown number. Check your mailbox. My pulse spiked. I strode to the front porch. Heart hammering. A plain envelope, no marking inside, a USB drive and a note. They're not untouchable. Use this, no signature. I should have called Lydia, but I was too wired. In my home office, I plugged in the drive. A video-loaded grainy footage of Ethan and Randall in a country club lounge arguing. Ethan jabbed a finger. You said Kessler was gone. Randall's voice was ice. He is Shelby's the hook. Keep her loyal. The video cut out. My hands shook. The hook. Shelby wasn't just cheating, she was Randall's tool, and I was the target. But who sent the USB friend foe? I forwarded it to Lydia. Find out who's tailing Ethan. I said someone's playing both sides. She didn't sugarcoat it on it. But Jason Randall's connected, old money, dirtier hands, this could get rough. Rough was my language. I'd faced shady clients, budget cuts, even a lawsuit in 14. But this was blood. I met Ray at his office, showed him the video. His face darkened. Randall's a predator. If he's in Shelby's not just unfaithful, she's trapped. I leaned forward. Then we free her, file ethics charges. Hit them all. Ray hesitated. Big move, Jason. Sure, I met his eyes. They stole my life. I'm done playing nice. That night, I couldn't stay home. Shelby's scent lingered, a ghost of our past. I drove to a bar, ordered a whiskey. The burn steadied me. Then I saw her, not Shelby, but Claire, the accountant. She was at a booth sipping gin. Rough day, I asked, sliding in. She smirked. You're one to talk. We swapped stories, her bad breakup, my early days, closing deals. For a moment I forgot the war. But as I left, she grabbed my arm. Jason, be careful. That offshore account, it's Randall's. Shelby's not the brains, she's the bait. The word hit like a sledgehammer. Shelby wasn't just a cheater, she was Randall's pawn. But why me? My clients weren't a gold mine. The answer came at dawn. Lydia called, voice urgent. Jason, I found the USB source. Ex-employee of Randall's fired last month, name's Hannah Blake, 40. She's got dirt, bribery, coercion, wants to meet. I didn't blink. Set it up. Hannah was a mess, chain smoking in a diner. Randall wants Pinnacle's contracts, she said, eyes darting. Your clients were the key to his new firm. Shelby's affair was his leverage. My fists clenched. And Ethan, Hannah snorted. Ethan's a pawn. Randall pays him to keep Shelby hooked, but she's cracking. She called me begging for a way out. I leaned in. Out. Why? She's still in. Hannah's eyes locked on mine. Randall's got leverage, emails from her past. Before you, the air vanished. Shelby's 20s were wild. She'd run with a rough crowd, made mistakes. But blackmail. That was a new low. Part of me wanted to save her. Pull her from the fire. But the part that had seen her with Joey knew better. She'd chosen this. I slipped Hannah. $600. Stay safe. I said. She nodded, already gone. The board meeting was hours away. I walked in, Ray at my side. Hannah's words burning. Shelby was there. Pale eyes, sunken. Ethan sat beside her, smirking. Harper cleared her throat. Jason, reconsider. We value your work, I laughed. Cold work. She stole my life. He stole my clients. I tossed Hannah's affidavit on the table detailing Randall's scheme. Ethan's smirk vanished. Shelby gasped. Jason, I didn't save it, I snapped. You erased me for him. I pointed at Ethan, who shifted, eyes narrow. Then the twist. Harper's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, paled. We need to pause. She said, voice shaky. The board got a tip. SEC's looking into Randall fraud, insider trading. Shelby's eyes widened. Ethan shot up. This is nonsense. Sit, I said, voice like ice. You're next. The room froze. Harper adjourned, promising to regroup. Shelby grabbed my arm as I left. Jason, I'm sorry, I didn't know it'd go this far. I shook her off. You knew enough outside. Ray clapped my shoulder. You shook them, but Randall's not done. I nodded, scanning the street. A gray SUV idled, tinted windows. Trouble, I called Lydia. Check. Randall's movements. He's not backing off. She didn't mince words. He's not got a hit on his phone. He's meeting Ethan tonight. Old warehouse, you want in? I gripped the phone. Damn right. That night I parked a block from the warehouse. Lydia's directions locked in. Rain slicked the asphalt, streetlights flickering. Ethan's car was there next to a Lincoln. Randall's voices echoed inside. I crept closer, phone recording. Ethan was yelling, you said Kessler was out. Now the SEC's sniffing. Randall's voice was smooth, deadly relaxed. Shelby's the fall guy, she'll take the hit. My blood boiled. They were framing her. After everything, she was their scapegoat. Then it went south. A flashlight beam hit me. Who's there? A third voice, not Ethan's or Randall's. I froze. Footsteps. I bolted, ducking behind crates. The beam swept past. My phone buzzed. Lydia. Get out, Randall's got muscle. Too late. A hand grabbed my shoulder, spun me. A guy 6'5", built like a tank. Wrong move, he growled. I swung, caught his chin. He staggered. Pain exploded in my jaw as he hit back. I hit the ground, vision blurring. Headlights. A car screeched up. Lydia. She leapt out, taser in hand. Back off, she shouted. The guy hesitated, ran. Lydia hauled me up. "You're an idiot," she muttered, shoving me into her car. We peeled out, rain blurring the windshield. "What'd you hear?" she asked. I coughed, jaw throbbing. "They're setting Shelby up. Randall's the kingpin." Lydia's jaw tightened. "Then we take him down back at the house." I iced my face, mind racing. Shelby, Ethan, Randall, a hydra, each head uglier. But Hannah's tip, Lydia's hustle, Claire's evidence, it was stacking up. I wasn't just fighting for my clients anymore. This was about justice. Claire called big news, that offshore account tied to Randall's trust tax evasion laundering. I sent it to the SEC. I grinned. "Pain be damned, you're a rock star." She laughed. "Just doing my job." But Jason, Shelby's been calling me. She's terrified. Ethan's unhinged. I didn't answer. Shelby's fear didn't move me. She'd made her choice. Then the final twist. My home security system pinged. Footage from last night, someone tampering with my truck. I zoomed in. Ethan. He wasn't just threatening me, he was sabotaging my life. I called Ray. "Lydia, Claire, we end this." Now the plan was tight bait. Ethan, catch him in the act, tie him to Randall. But as I hung up, my phone buzzed. Shelby, a voicemail. "Jason, I'm at the office. Ethan's here. He's losing it, please." Her voice cracked raw with panic. I stared at the phone. Pinnacle's office. My old battlefield where I'd closed 1,000 deals. Now a trap? Or was it Shelby had lied before, but that fear, it was real? I grabbed my keys. This wasn't about saving her. This was about finishing it. Shelby's voicemail seared through me as I sped toward Pinnacle's office. Raleigh's skyline blurring in the night. "Ethan's here. He's losing it, please." My jaw throbbed from the warehouse fight, but adrenaline drowned the pain. The office was 20 minutes out, a glass tower where I'd built my legacy, our battleground. Now a potential ambush. I didn't trust Shelby. Not after her affair with Joey Crenshaw, her lies, but that panic in her voice cut deep. Trap or not, I was ending this tonight. I called Lydia, speakerphone crackling. "Shelby's at Pinnacle with Ethan. She says he's unraveling. I'm going in." Lydia's voice was sharp. "Jason, wait for me. I'm calling the cops." I shook my head. "No time. Just get there." I dialed Ray. "Next, Ethan's at the office. Shelby's in trouble." "Maybe if I don't make it, use Claire's evidence." Crush Randall. Ray's tone was grim. "Don't play hero, Jason." I snorted. "Not my style." The office tower loomed, its lights glaring. Ethan's car was parked crooked in the lot, Shelby's sedan beside it. No Lincoln, no Randall Holt. Yet I parked a block away, grabbed a flashlight from my truck. Not a weapon, but it'd do. My phone buzzed. "Claire, SEC's moving on Randall. Warrants out, stay safe." I pocketed it, crept toward the side entrance, my old keycard still active. Voices echoed from the top floor. "Ethan's office. Shelby desperate." This wasn't supposed to happen. Ethan's growl cut through. "You wanted the clients, now we clean this up." My grip tightened. Clean what, me, her, both? I slipped inside the lobby, dark security cameras offline. Ethan's doing. No doubt I took the stairs, heart-pounding, flashlight low. The top floor was lit, Ethan's office door ajar. Shelby stood by the desk, arms crossed, eyes wild. Ethan paced, a knife in his hand, sweat dripping. He looked like a man cornered. Then the first twist. A shadow moved in the hall. Randall stepping in, suit, crisp, eyes cold. My stomach dropped. He wasn't just the money. He was here to bury the evidence. I ducked into a conference room. Pulse racing. Randall's voice was smooth. "You're late. Caldwell Kessler's still breathing. Fix it." Shelby's face paled. "Randall, no. We had a deal." Randall smirked. "Deals change. I had seconds. The fire exit was steps away, but I wasn't running. I edged closer, flashlight off, staying in the shadows." Ethan ranted. "Kessler's got evidence. The SEC's closing in." Randall laughed cold. "You're the liability." "Caldwell, you and her." Shelby gasped. "You promised me." "I promised a payout." Randall cut in. "You delivered Kessler's clients. Now you're done." My blood boiled. Shelby wasn't just a pawn. She was expendable, but I wasn't here to save her. I was here to end the game. I crept toward the office, heart hammering. Shelby saw me, her eyes flickering. Ethan caught it. Spun, knife raised. Kessler. I dove behind a cubicle as he lunged, the knife grazing the wall. Shelby screamed. Randall cursed. "Not here, you idiot!" Chaos erupted. I scrambled up, swinging the flashlight. It caught Ethan's arm and the knife clattered across the floor. He roared, tackling me. We crashed into a glass partition, shards flying. My jaw screamed as he landed a punch. I need his gut rolled free, grabbing the knife. Freeze, I shouted, aiming at Randall. Randall raised his hand, smirking. You won't kill Kessler. You're not that man. I stepped closer, blade steady. Keep talking. Shelby sobbed, backed against the desk. Jason, I didn't mean. Quiet. I snapped eyes on Randall. Sirens wailed, red and blue flashing outside. Lydia had delivered. Ethan froze, panting. Randall's smirk faded. You're done. I said, SEC's got your accounts, your scam, everything. The second twist hit like a freight train. Shelby lunged not at me, but at Randall. She grabbed a paperweight, swinging it at his head. You used me. Randall dodged, blood trickling from his temple. You're nothing. Her outburst gave me the edge. I yanked her behind me. Stay down, I said, knife steady. Police burst in, shouting, Drop the weapon. I set the knife down, hands up. Ethan was cuffed. Cursing, Randall tried to talk his way out, but the lead officer wasn't buying it. Randall Holt, you're under arrest. Shelby collapsed, sobbing. I didn't look at her. Cops swarmed, taping off the office. I gave my statement. Shelby's affair, the stolen clients. Randall's corporate coup. Shelby sat in a corner, silent, broken. She tried to speak, Jason. I walked away. Her words were dust. 10 years, and she'd betrayed me with Joey Crenshaw. No apology could fix that. Days later, the fallout hit. Randall's arrest dominated Raleigh. News, fraud, bribery, money laundering. Ethan flipped, spilling everything for a lighter sentence. Shelby faced charges, conspiracy, theft. Ray said she'd likely get probation, maybe a year. I didn't care. My clients were safe. Most of my savings recovered. Claire's evidence had sealed it. But the third twist came from Hannah, the whistleblower. She met me at a bar, slid me a flash drive. Shelby's emails. She said the ones Randall used to control her. I got them off his server. Do what you want. I stared at the drive. Part of me wanted to burn it. Let her past die. But the part that had fought for my life kept it locked in a safe. Not for vengeance, but leverage. Shelby was gone, but I wasn't taking chances. Weeks passed. I didn't return to Pinnacle. Instead, I got a call from Apex Consulting, a rising firm in Durham. Their CEO, Tom Wheeler, 55, wanted me to head their client relations. I walked into their boardroom, my track record on display. Tom didn't blink. Name your price. I did $300,005% equity and a public statement calling me the client whisperer. He shook my hand. Dun Pinnacle's board begged me to return, offering a C-suite role. I met them in their tower, their faces desperate. Jason, we need you, Dr. Harper pleaded. I smiled, tore their offer in half. You had your shot, I said, walking out. The glass doors swung shut. Final. Shelby sent a letter a month later, scrawled on cheap paper. I was weak, she wrote. I'm sorry, I read it once, tossed it in the trash. Sorry didn't rebuild trust. Sorry didn't erase Joey's smirk or Randall's knife. I'd fought for my life and I'd won. That was enough. Apex launched, my division contracts pouring in. I bought a new place, sleek, overlooking Raleigh's skyline. Claire and I grabbed coffee sometimes, her sharp wit a quiet spark. Not love, not yet, but something. But late at night when the city pulsed below, I'd see that knife in my hand, feel the weight of what I'd become. Was I a victor, a survivor, or just a man who refused to break? I don't know, maybe you do. Did I do right, turning my back on Shelby's tears? Or should I have offered her a hand one last time? What's justice when trust's been burned to ash, like what you heard? Hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Viora, because the next story might just be your favorite one yet.